Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I call to order this December 9th, 2020 meeting of the Albuquerque-Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority. Trustee Rayala is excused. All members are present this evening video via conference. There is a couple of the attendees having some technical difficulties, so please bear with us. Next, we have our moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance from Councilor Davis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And will you join us for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilor. As posted on our website and noted on our published Water Authority agenda, this meeting is being held via video conference. The Water Authority accepted general comment and comment on the meeting's specific agenda items via email through 4 p.m. today. And these comments were distributed to all board members. So we are now on approval of minutes. I make a motion to approve the October 21st, 2020 minutes. Is there a second?
A second, Debbie O'Malley.
Thank you, both Councilor Davis and Commissioner O'Malley. Luz can do the roll call. Thank you.
Councilor Pena,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley, Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada.
Yes.
Councilor Jones, if you would mind raising your hand as a yes to vote. That was a yes. That passes unanimously.
Thank you, Ms. Carrion. Next, the proclamations and awards. There are none. Then public comment, as previously stated, public comment was accepted prior to the meeting by email. And so, Ms. Carrion, do we have, we don't have any public, it's all right, like we do at the council meeting. There was just via the
Yes,
email.
via emails, yes. You all received.
Just want to confirm. So now we're on item 6, announcements and communication. Our next scheduled meeting, it will be January 27th at 5 via video conference. Ms. Carrion, is there any way to mute the
Yes,
person? Yeah, because I don't know if it's coming through for everyone, but it is, yeah. So I think it's creating some audio stuff. So thank you. Okay. So then we are on item 7, introductions, the first reading of legislation. We are on R 2025, approving a development agreement for water and sewer service for Quivira Estates. That would be Mr. Chris Cadena. And I don't know, is the next one part of the same? No, it is not. Okay. Mr. Cadena.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Christopher Cadena, and I present to you a development agreement for a 24 residential lot subdivision. The area is near Rainbow and Unser, and the property lies within pressure zone 4W of the Volcano Trunk. So the property is outside the adopted service area and needs board approval for service, and the property will extend public water and sewer services, as well as be responsible for utility expansion charges and water resource charges. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? If not, we'll move on to R 2026, authorizing the execution and delivery of water project fund loan grant agreement by and between the New Mexico Water Trust Board and the New Mexico Finance Authority and the Albuquerque-Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority. Mr. Alred.
1 second, let me pull him. Dan, you're on.
Sorry, I'm like in a daze. What you have before you is a resolution to authorize the execution and delivery of a water project fund loan and grant agreement between the New Mexico Water Trust Board, the New Mexico Finance Authority, and the Water Authority. It's a $800,000 loan and a $1.2 million grant to do about 10,000 existing water meters and replace them with AMI meters in our service area. These AMI meters will allow us to save money, deliver more accurate results, and allow our customers to understand their own water needs. And again, this is just for introduction for approval next month. And I stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Allred? No? Well, thank you. And Mr. Cadenas, we are going to move on now to item A, consent agenda. AC 2034, appointments to the Technical Customer Advisory Committee. Do we need to, this is just the consent agenda, and then do we need to vote on the consent agenda as a whole?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Okay, and then we have C 2035, approving increase to price agreement cap pipestone equipment for Cloud Wall parts and service. And then C 2036, approving increased price agreement cap with Hazen and Saywar for water resources on calls for services. I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Commissioner Piscotti. Ms. Carriona, I was going to call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Malley, we will come back to Vice Chair O'Malley. Counselor Pat Davis,
Yes. Yes.
Counselor Jones, if you could raise your hand as a yes, that's a yes. Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
that passes.
Thank you, Ms. Carrion. Is there any way to mute, because there is a lot of feedback? Is everyone getting all the feedback? Yeah, it's very distracting, so,
Okay, I've muted everyone.
okay, thank you. So now we are on item 9, approvals, R 2024, authorizing an agreement for water and sewer service for Paradise North. Mr. Cadena, once again.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Chris Cadena. This is a second reading for a development agreement for a mixed-use development located at the southwest corner of McMahon and Unser there on the west side. Development's inside the city of Albuquerque city limits, but outside the Water Authority's adopted service area. The development is required to extend public water and sewer to the site, as well as paying utility expansion charges and water resource charges. I stand for questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll motion approval of R 24. Is there a second? Counselors Jones and Davis. So there's a motion and a second. Ms. Carrion, will you please do the roll call?
Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Malley,
Yes.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Jones. That was a yes. Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada,
Yes.
that passes.
Thank you. So now C 2037, 2021 federal legislative priorities. Mr. Mark Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before you are the recommended federal legislative priorities. We have 4 funding requests. The first one is the Tijeras Reuse Project, which is a long-term plan project adjacent to Kirtland Air Force Base, which would provide reuse water. The second one is the Bosque Reuse Project, which is located at the corner of Coors and Montano, adjacent to Bosque Prep School. The funding request is essentially to begin the environmental and permitting process. Both of these projects are probably 10 years in the making and $100 million each. So these are just the beginning. The next is to support continued funding for Kirtland Air Force Base. We're concerned that the funding levels are decreasing rapidly. The current funding, as we understand it, is at an all-time low of 1.5 million. Certainly our position is that's not sufficient. The last funding request is to continue supporting the cleanup of the mixed waste landfill at Sandia National Labs. A legislative request, which has been ongoing, is to allow us to store native water at Abiquiu Reservoir. And the good news is today the House Congress passed the Water Resources Development Act, and this project was included in that package. It now goes to the Senate, and we're likely to see that pass and hopefully signed by the president this year. And this will be an important tool for water management, not only for the Water Authority, but the entire state. And lastly, supporting the Endangered Species Collaborative Program that represents our entire federal priorities list. I'd stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Are there any questions? Again, hopefully we're all keeping our fingers crossed for this legislative, well, the upcoming federal and then the next agenda item for the state legislative priorities. So if there's no questions, I'll motion approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Quesada. So there's a motion and a second. Ms. Carrion, will you please do the roll call?
Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Malley,
Yes.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Counselor Jones. That was a yes. Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada. That passes.
Thank you. So now item CC 2038, 2021 state legislative priorities. Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 10 legislative requests. The first one is to fund a groundwater monitoring well for the Kirtland Air Force Base jet fuel spill. If you recall, we had a couple presentations recently, and what came out of those presentations are that there's some data gaps, and we're concerned that the current monitoring situation may not be sufficient to provide a warning for our own groundwater wells. So we'd like to install our own monitoring well. That's a $1 million request. The second request is the county's Metropolitan Detention Center is currently on a lagoon system. It is not connected to our sewer system. We have had challenges operating that for the county. We're supporting the county's request to fund a $4.2 million sewer connection to our facility. This is a pretty significant need, and hopefully we can get this done with the state. The next request is to realign the outfall at the reclamation facility where we enter the river. This would bring it back upstream and create an environmental situation for the silvery minnow and create some new trails along the Bosque. This would be in partnership with the Office of the Natural Resource Trustee Office, who has some funding from a federal settlement. The next two projects I've talked about in the federal priorities, the Bosque reuse and Tijeras reuse. The next request is a new aquifer storage and recovery project in the amount of 1 million. The idea here, long-term, is to begin injecting surface water into the aquifer so that at times of drought, when we're pumping groundwater, we're actually pumping stored water we've injected into the aquifer. The next item is to begin the planning, design, and construction of sewer projects in the Cornwall area. We have extended water service, and we'd like, to the extent possible, begin sewer. The next item is to support a Water Trust Board request to extend the To'Hajiilee conveyance line. All of you are familiar with that. To'Hajiilee has requested we submit this. We've had a favorable review so far, and we're hopeful this will get funded. The next item is to review the governmental gross receipts tax. The Water Authority is the largest contributor to this tax. And initially it was to collateralize the Finance Authority. We'd like that to be reviewed, and hopefully some redistributions can occur there. And lastly, to oppose any negative legislation against the Water Authority. I'd stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Are there any questions? I see Sarit and Ms. Nair hand up. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Pena. On the topic of To'Hajiilee, Mr. Sanchez, I've just been getting some questions through our constituent services about what are the conditions under which we might truck water out there? You know, I know we've done that from time to time, but I was hoping you could share with us sort of how that works. Thank you.
Sure, Madam Chair, Board Member Nair. We provide that service statewide to any water provider, whether it's a city, county, mutual, domestic. And basically, when there's an emergency, that means there is no water. And that's when we provide a truck for drinking water. With regard to To'Hajiilee, we have trucked water there, I believe, 11 times in the last 9 months, and certainly at least 3 times during the COVID lockdown. So we have certain protocols our employees have to follow, along with the chapter there, for our truck to be parked there and disinfected, et cetera, for water to be distributed. We have not had a request from To'Hajiilee since May 11th, our last time we sent water. So we stand ready to assist To'Hajiilee and anyone in the state when they have an emergency. And again, an emergency is when they have no access to water.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, with that, I'll move approval of R2038. Is there a second? Councillor
Second.
Davis.
Okay.
And Commissioner O'Malley. With that, Ms. Carrion, will you please do the roll call?
Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Malley,
Yes.
Councillor Davis,
That's the way
Yes.
it works.
Councillor Jones. That's a yes. Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada.
Yes.
That is
Thank you. You faded out, so I think you said that was a pass. So we are now on C2039 FY 2021 first quarter operating financial reports. Mr. Alred, you're up once again.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. What you have before you is the first quarter results, financial results. And you can go to the next slide. Here is the operating revenue. Rate revenue is about $1.2 million above last year. We are about 700,000 less and other miscellaneous revenue from the prior year. The total revenue is up just a little about $1 million above the first quarter of last year. What we've seen through the pandemic is that as people were staying home, they were using more water. I guess as more people were at home and doing things at home. So unlike other utilities, we have not seen a decrease in our operating revenues. And actually, we've seen the opposite, an increase in our revenues during the period of the pandemic. So that's fairly interesting. Next slide. Our operating expenses, primarily what's is increased from FY20 to FY21 is the increase in the transfer to debt service. We make a payment in July of each year. And then we also had a $3 million increase in our transfer to CIP. As approved and requested by this board, we increased the transfer of cash to CIP by $3 million each fiscal year. So we continue to spend monies on projects CIP, and at some point in time begin borrowing less money to do those projects. Next slide. This is really quick of our, if you straight line all of our expenses, but we have appropriated for the year and what we actually spend each month. Again, July, there's a big bump. That's when we make our debt service payments. We made a debt service payment this year on July 1 of about $62 million. So that would be the increase there. As we've been through the pandemic, our operating expenditures have been quite a bit less. A lot of that is we had the water treatment plant shut down due to the drought. So there were reductions in chemicals and power running the San Juan Chama water plant during that time frame. Next slide, please. Our days cash on hand, the drop in FY21 is primarily due to that large debt service payment we made on July 1. That usually happens in the first quarter of every year. We anticipate that this level will increase over the next 3 quarters. You probably will never reach FY19. And it'll probably be a little below what FY20. In lieu of having rate increases, we have been using our fund balance and drawing down some cash to offset those potential rate increases. And it's what we had planned to do, and it appears to be working as we have planned it to do. Next slide, please. Our year-to-date capital expenses, we have really gotten our handle on accelerating some of our CIP expenditures. You look at FY19 and FY17, you know, we had projects in design and they probably start out later in the year, so we didn't spend the money as quickly, but we did appropriate money to be spent on those projects, so we could actually basically, from a procurement perspective, procure those things we need to do those projects. We're at a point now in FY21 where we did a lot of upfront work where we're actually starting to spend the CIP dollars actually on the projects, and you can kind of see the cash going out the door. A lot of work is being done on special projects. Some of that was work and the payment on the operations customer service facility that we just about finished, and we're doing a lot of work on interceptors and water lines. So that would be the non-reclamation rehab. And we're about at a point where we've spent the $250 million we wanted to spend rehabbing our wastewater treatment plant. And you can kind of see that expenditure starting to reduce in FY21 as we come to a completion on that project. Those monies will probably shift to more non-reclamation rehab projects such as interceptors throughout our service area. Next slide, please. Our debt coverage ratio, our senior subordinate lien coverage should be about 1.20. Our senior lien is covenant is at 1.33. As you can see, we're still extremely well above our covenant levels. So we're still in a very good financial position. And we'll just continue to look at those and make adjustments to the budget and our financials as needed. Next slide, please. Water production is actual water pumped. You can kind of see that in July we pumped a little bit more water than we did in the prior years. We did pump less than we did in August, September. October, November, we probably pumped this a little bit more. So we're pretty much on pace at FY20 and maybe more in line with FY18. And we're still looking at about at meeting our goal of 125, 123 gallons per person per day. Next slide, please. And this is water consumption. This basically you're seeing the same graphic. This is actually water billed. And it pretty much goes in line with what you saw with production. Next slide. And the last slide is this again, water in the red is water we pump from our wells in the drinking water plant. Non-potable water is on the black line. That's the reuse water that we either do from south side reuse or north side reuse. And then the blue is precipitation. And what's fairly interesting is as precipitation this year, especially in July, there was still an increase in consumption even with the precipitation. But again, as it's been getting cooler, you can see the what we're actually producing is dropping even without little rain. So I still think our customers they're reacting to the drought situation and they're not getting over carried away with using water. And I stand for any questions. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Allred. Are there any questions? I don't see any questions, but you know, some of the questions you answered that I had as you were going through your presentation about how revenue is up and people are consuming more water being home. You know, we're all washing everything that we haven't washed in 10 years. But my question was, and I don't know that you have the answer to it, but I was just interested to see what the Water Authority is doing in terms of people who, in times of, you know, this crisis, that they're not able to pay their water bill. I know we have programs, but have you enhanced those programs as part of this pandemic, or that maybe for Mr. Sanchez?
So the Madam Chairman, members of the board, the difficulty has been to some degree is that we use the food banks to help us promote these programs. And with the COVID, less people have been going to the food banks. But I will tell you that the level of need has not decreased.
Right.
It's substantially higher in the first quarter of this year than it was in the first quarter of last year. And it's probably at the levels that it was in the third and fourth quarters of last year. So we're reaching to about 23 to 25% of our customers that have needs. We do have the money that was appropriated by this board and the donations from the public to support that. And we have talked about other ways besides the two food banks to promote this a little bit more, but the need has been there, and it appears to us that that people are still requesting it, and they are getting that. So it's still fairly high, and it's much higher. It's probably about 8% higher than it was in the first quarter of last year. This year.
So, well, thank you. I would actually just be interested in knowing, you know, what you're doing and how we can actually reach out to people to make sure that they're getting the help they need during this time. So, and I know we're not having a meeting until January, but, you know, if you can provide us with an update in the interim, or, you know, if there's anything that we need to do as a board, I'm sure we would all be willing to do some type of, you know, emergency meeting if required. But Commissioner Casada, you had a question.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Does the Water Authority receive any CARES Act money for just that situation? You would think that water would be something that, you know, that for people in need, and because of, you know, the situation we are because of COVID and on top of the pandemic, that there would be some kind of money funneling either from the state or the federal government through CARES Act money to you know, all water. Water has to be, water's the, yeah, that's the number one priority, I think, for everybody right now.
I'll let Mark answer that question.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Casada, we are not eligible for CARES Act directly. Since we're not a city entity or a county entity, there is no funding that goes directly to us. However, I would point out, no one has been disconnected from water service regardless of their bill. Anyone who was disconnected at the beginning of this pandemic were reconnected. We're reaching out to them if they have high delinquencies to link them with some of the programs Mr. Allred mentioned. So we are reaching out to every customer, and no one is without water. I can assure you of that.
And I would also add to that is we are not charging the late penalty fee as well to those customers that are past due on their accounts. And we have not done that since the pandemic started.
And
Thank you.
We would gladly accept any CARES funding from the county.
Glad you ended with that, Mr. Sanchez. I'm glad you ended with that. But, you know, I know the kind of leader you are. I know you would never leave anybody without water. But, you know, I was hoping that maybe if somewhere down the line, if you need more assistance through that program, that we could somehow through either city or county figure out how we can, you know, if we could or not, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question, but to at least funnel some of that CARES Act money to those programs. That way, you know, everybody is being assisted through this hard time. So, but I appreciate the answer. Thanks. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you, Mr. Allred. That was my question. I just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can through all the different entities to ensure that everybody has, you know, has their service continue during these difficult times. But anyway, with that, I think I need to motion. So I motion approval of C-2039. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Quesada. So with that, Ms. Carrion, will you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Malley,
Yes.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Counselor Jones. That was a yes. Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to C-2040, approving increase to IKEA Incorporated purchase order. Mr. Cody Stinson.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. In front of you, you have an agreement with a local technology firm that is working on redesigning our current website that includes a customer portal that includes a single sign-on with our banking institution, which is Wells Fargo, and will eventually include integrations with our Home Connect system, which is the AMI and non-AMI, and allows customers to use and look at their hourly data and set up indicators or text notifications if water is running continuously and things like that. So that'll happen probably the next few months. We do have a short demo. We want to demo the new website and the user experience to the board tonight, maybe 3 to 5 minutes here. We do have Shannon Whitehead, who is spearheading the development effort for the new website on board. He's going to provide a short demo of the website. Shannon? think you're on mute, Shannon.
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the board, hopefully you can see my screen at this point.
Yes.
All right. What we're looking at now is the demo site of the brand new Water Authority web experience for the public. And this is a simplified navigation system, a little easier on the eyes and easy to navigate. What you see here, I'll just thumb through a few pages and give you a demo of how you can jump on and pay your bill. But the navigation across the top tells a little bit about the Water Authority. You can see we've made that very simple. Governing board, there's some familiar faces there. We can jump to meetings where we do have the agenda meetings. Our education site, which is quite extensive. 505 outside jumps out to the current rebates and zero skipping information. We have information on sewer, and there are plenty of forms to fill out for the customers if they want to know how to do something, or the fire hydrant program, filling out applications. We do have new blue links for those. Those are fully automated, cuts back on a lot of the manual processes that we've had over the past few years. We do have a very extensive customer service portal where people can jump in here and apply for rebates, walk through how to understand their bill and their charges. Obviously, there's multiple ways to pay the bill. I'll jump into that now. From the homepage, when you get here, we have a message to our new users here in the corner that's set for the homepage. That's why that keeps coming up. But to make a regular payment, if I'm a guest, I simply, that was one click, type in the account number and a zip code and hit the guest payment. We are now jumping over to Wells Fargo Bank, and I can make a payment right from here. So that was 2 clicks, and that's single sign on, which I'm going to show you now. That was for guest payment. New users would come up to my account, click on that, and that's going to bring up a login page. Something new that we are glad to implement is you can now sign in with Google, and in a couple of days you can also sign in with Facebook. But for now, once you sign yourself up and enroll as a customer, once you log in, the great thing about single sign-on is you go right to your account. And so I can, if I have more than one account, I can switch, and you can see that the data below changes for that account. I can add more accounts, or I can unlink an account, or I can jump out to Wells Fargo and view my bill and pay it. And this is something that was a 3-step process previously, and now it is a single sign-in process for the user. The experience that is current right now is Wells Fargo, where you can set up automated payments, donate, that kind of stuff. And so that experience for the user remains the same. Moving on forward, we are planning on implementing a Home Connect, as Cody had mentioned before, which will go down here in this pattern down here. You can see that it's going to load the water usage information. We're looking forward to rolling that out to the customer. Right now, we're still in demo mode, but you can see how this would load for the customer so they could see their water usage. This is something brand new. We're excited to roll that out and let the customers really look at what they're doing there. And I'll open that up to any questions if there are, but that's where we're at today. We're planning on rolling this out on Monday.
It looks wonderful. Are there any questions? Luz, if you can do away with the screen, I can't see if there's any questions. Any questions? Thank you, Luz. No? Well, thank you. It looks wonderful. It seems as though it's streamlined.
Sarita had a question. Sorry.
Sarita? Oh,
Oh, I was just, thank you, Chair Pena. I just wanted to say thank you. This looks really great. As someone who routinely forgets all her usernames and passwords, the one sign in will be really super helpful. So thank you. And I know how much work it takes to redesign a website. So just, I want to appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
thank you. I appreciate you being here. So with that, I move approval of C-2040. Is there a second? Councillor Davis.
I guess.
So, with that, Ms. Carrion, will you please call the roll?
Shoot. Forgot this stupid thing.
Chair Pena,
Yes. Sorry about that.
Vice Chair O'Malley,
Yes.
Councillor Davis,
Yes.
Councillor Jones. That was a yes. Member Nair,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. So now we're on item C-2041, approving service connection agreement for the learning experience. Mr. Cadena, again.
So we have dropped Mr. Cadena. WebEx just cut me out, is what it stated. So let's give him a moment to come back on.
Okay, well, why don't we move on to other business, and we will go on to OB 2015, Customer Demand and Drought Report. Mr. Carlos Bustos.
Carlos, you're on. Carlos?
Thank you, Luz. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Before moving into a drought report and action plan and what we're planning to do in regards to the current drought, I'll bring you up to speed with current water demand. Next slide, please. So the bars are total production for 2018, 19, and 2020. And the lines represent outdoor usage. Is
Chris
total
Cadena.
water demand
joined the meeting.
Total water demand is higher than in the last 2 years. Particularly, we're looking at residential usage because of the COVID crisis has gone up 11% in 2020. Commercial usage is down. So you can note overall outdoor usage is pretty high compared to the last 2 years. We're looking at the crisis as the cause of more demand and also the lack of rainfall. 2020 is about 40 to 50% less precipitation than previous years. And not only that, temperature is also has played a factor. It's been about 12% above average this year. So 2020 is looking at being one of the amongst the warmest and driest years in the last 10 years. The good news is that average daily demand is currently showing winter levels. That's roughly about 56 million gallons per day. From a summer demand average of upper 140s. And we're set to meet our EPCD goal for this year, which is at 127. However, next slide, please. The county is facing severe to extreme drought condition. The state conditions are pretty looming, and we're currently in drought advisory. This drought advisory was declared in mid to late October when the majority of the county reached drought index 3 as defined by the National Weather Service. The drought advisory doesn't necessarily require mandatory conservation measures, but we do focus on adding more education during the irrigation season. 50% of the state, as you're looking at it, is an index 4. That's exceptional drought. So as we move into the winter season and through this winter season, we're looking at what's going to happen with the start of the next spring season. Next slide, please. And the winter season's not looking good. We're looking at 40 to 50% below precipitation levels for the next 3 months. So typically what happens is that whenever we come out of a dry winter, we tend to see a high demand starting as early as February. Next slide, please. So we're looking at different measures, things we can do now and things we gotta have in place in order to start out the season and then with a really good message to alert customers of advising of the drought conditions and how to water and how to save a drop and just make sure that we're doing the right thing. So one of the things we're looking at is additional water use compliance starting as early as February or for sure in March. We're looking at customary bill inserts, alerting of specific practice that all our customers can do per season, promoting smart watering practices. And we got this program, it's called Ask an Expert. So we're going to be promoting more of that so customers can ask us their questions about irrigations, how to fix leaks, and schedule irrigation efficiency consultations offered by the staff. This past month, we hosted 3 virtual customer conversations. Those were really good. They were actually a success. And we're also been offering the last 3 or 4 months free agency partners leak audits. In APS alone, we have done 53 leak audits and identified over 307 leaks. Next slide, please. So I'll share a little bit of what happened with the customer conversations. Outdoor landscape watering was the focus of the conversations going, and main focus is looking at how we can go beyond water by numbers. This recommendation was developed to teach customers how often to water on a seasonal basis. And it was created when most of our yards were high water use lawns. But thanks to a successful Xeriscape rebate program, landscapes have changed. And customers, they want to know more than just how often to water and how often to water just turf. So the conservation team is using the input gathered from the customer conversations, which we had about 100 participants, to develop a new guide to help our community irrigate our yards, regardless of any landscape type or watering method. So if you're watering with a hose or if you're watering with a sprinkler system or with drip, we're gonna teach you how long to water. The new guide is intended to help our community reach our consumption goal of 110 GPCD by 2037. It's a big focus on outdoor usage practices and improving those. So we felt that when we drafted and got the conservation plan approved by this board, that we needed to educate customers on the specifics of how to water our yards properly and just making landscapes more resilient just in the face of climate change. So we're looking at launching this guide mid to the end of next year with a big launch on education and offering also customers with education virtual in this case, like we've done in the past Water Smart workshops. So all the strategies are part of our long-term approach to improving outdoor efficiency in the face of drought or in the face of years where we are not facing drought. And I stand for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bustos. Does anyone have any questions? Counselor Davis. You're muted. I know you're saying the best speech ever, but you're muted.
I'm really not. Mr. Bustos, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bustos, I wanted to say thank you. It's a great program. I think it's excellent that y'all are doing these water audits with our partners, and even better that they have the Ask an Expert program. I just want to know, are we selling those little frogs that'll tell me like when I can stop watering my yard and my garden, or is that just special and you have to work with the water authority?
Madam Chair, Councilor Davis, we offer those for free. So we'll put you in contact with Lou so you can get one.
That's excellent. I would love to have one. It'll tell me when to stop watering my garden next year. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bustos. If there's no other questions, we will move back to C2041. Is Mr. Cadena on?
Yes, hello. Apologies for the technical difficulties. This is
Oh, that's
Christopher
okay.
Cadena. Yeah,
I think we're all struggling with that this evening.
yeah. My great streak went to an end. But my name is Christopher Cadena, and I present you a service connection agreement for a proposed daycare near the intersection of Paseo del Norte and Eagle Ranch. There's existing infrastructure fronting the property. The service connection agreement is to allow them to connect to that existing infrastructure. They're inside the city, but outside the adopted service area, so they'll still be required to pay UECs and water resource charges. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll motion approval of C2041. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Malley. There's a second by Commissioner O'Malley. Luz, will you please call the roll?
Chair O'Malley? Chair Pena?
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Malley?
Yes.
Counselor Davis?
Yes. Yes.
Counselor Jones?
Yes, yes, yes.
Member Nair?
Yes.
Commissioner Viscotti?
Yes.
Commissioner Quesada?
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you, Ms. Carrion. So we have one last item, but after that, if you can bear with me, I just have one announcement after item OB 2016. That is the Water 2120 update, Mr. Mark Kelly.
Okay, Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm going to just share my screen with you and talk about Water 2120. So hopefully you can see it now. My name is Mark Kelly. I'm the Water Resources Division Manager. And in our update on Water 2120, I'm going to talk about some of the background for Water 2120, what happened this summer in terms of operations on the Rio Grande. We'll get into a little bit of our conservation plan, our environmental plan, and then a bit of an update on what was going on with Albuquerque Reservoir. So Water 2120 was put together in 2016 as an update to the Water Authority's Water Resources Management Strategy. It has a 100-year planning horizon. It looked at demands going forward as well as supplies that will be needed in the future. It looks at how the Water Authority is going to fill the gaps between supply and demand. It has 13 policies and over 60 sub-policies that were approved by this board to guide implementation of the plan to provide sustainable water for the future. Water 2120 projects that new supplies will be needed around 2085, and that is pushed back from the 2007 Water Resources Management Strategy. And by the end of the 2120, we will need about 400,000 acre feet per year.
And these will have to be filled by fully utilizing existing ground and surface water, further conservation, leveraging non-potable resources, reuse, and we also look at stormwater sources, indirect potable reuse, and watershed management for future sources. The Water 2120 plan addresses management of our groundwater resources. It sets a working reserve, which goes down to 250 feet below pre-development levels. And below that is 50 feet of a safety reserve. We don't want to get below that safety reserve because subsidence can occur in the aquifer. The management level for the aquifer is set by Water 2120 as 110 feet below pre-development levels. The objective is to manage groundwater so there's no long-term net removal of water below that management level, while utilizing the working reserve to respond to changing hydrologic conditions. This map shows some of our major infrastructure for that's kind of important for Water 2120. We have our river diversion, which is just south of Alameda Boulevard. We have our drinking water plant. We have the USGS gauge at Central Avenue. If the flow at the Central Avenue gauge is not above 122 cubic feet per second, we cannot take water out of the river and use it for the drinking water plant. So that's a very important spot. We also have the effluent discharge from our Southside Water Reclamation Plant, where treated effluent returns to the river. So I guess one of the stories of Water 2120 is building on our success. Our water usage has decreased even though growth has gone up. Our accounts have nearly doubled since the early 90s, and our water demand in acre feet has on average gone down. This is due to customers conserving water and our reuse efforts too. As Carlos was saying, we do have our 110 gallon per capita per day goal by 2037. And that goes along with policy D of Water 2120. And it continues our previous goals of 150, 135, 175 gallons per capita per day. And right now, if we reduce by 1 gallon per capita per day per year, we'll be on track to get there by 2037. After 2037, or as we get closer to there, we're probably going to reevaluate what the goal should be going forward in the future and how far down we want to make it in the future. The water demand in GPCD is dropping, but our consumptive use on average has also been decreasing. Typically, the amount of consumptive use is less than the allocation for the San Juan Chama project. This year, the consumptive use, as Carlos said, is a bit higher than normal, though. Water 2120 is a continuation of competent water resource management by the Water Authority, and this is evident by the continued rise of the aquifer, especially since the San Juan Chama drinking water project came online. The public can go online and look at various USGS groundwater monitoring wells throughout town and see that on average, the water levels in those wells is rising. We also look at the river depletions, and our river depletions are going in the right direction too. They've been reduced. When groundwater is pumped, it affects the Rio Grande because the river and the aquifer are connected. And to offset our groundwater pumping, water has to either be released or returned to the river by the wastewater treatment plant. With the decrease in pumping of groundwater, water has been able to be added to storage in the last 10 years. Policy J of the Water 2020 is to protect our valued environment and cultural resources. To that end, the Water Authority is drafting an environmental plan that about how we are implementing Policy J. This includes watershed management, and We have been working with the Nature Conservancy and contributed $1 million over the last 5 years towards forest management in the watershed. This agreement is nearing its end, and we'll be presenting to the TCAC on the benefits of the agreement moving forward before bringing it before this board. We also, from time to time, lease supplemental water to assist others for environmental concerns during the drought. We keep an environmental pool in our storage space in Abiquiu Reservoir. And we also work with the biopark to support the refugium where silvery minnows are raised for later release. Our diversion that you can see in the top left includes a fish passage to allow fish, including the silvery minnow, to move around the diversion dam and screens to keep the fish and the fish eggs in the river and from not getting into beyond our diversion. This slide also shows the discharge of the Southside Water Reclamation Plant, where our treated wastewater is returned to the river. And it looks dark there, but it's actually dark because it's actually cleaner than the Rio Grande that it's going into. That Rio Grande is brown because it has a lot of dirt in it. Our water looks dark because it's clean. So this summer, flows at Central Avenue were pretty low. The diversions for the drinking water plant were shut down due to those low flows at Central Avenue. Water 2120 anticipated years where there's more groundwater use, such as this summer. And we did shut off the drinking water plant and moved to groundwater because of it. This summer, we also leased 7,000 acre feet to the Bureau of Reclamation as part of their supplemental water program. We're looking forward to next summer and seeing some of the possibilities of providing how we might be able to provide water in the future. And also looking in the future, storage of native water in Abiquiu will be a big part of management on the Rio Grande. We're working to make Abiquiu a shared resource and available to help with other entities such as the Rio Chama Seque Association and tribal entities. This follows policy I of Water 2120 to enhance storage of native San Juan Chama and other resources. Other things that go along with this policy are our recent agreement for storage in Elephant Butte. This board sets the guidance and policies that really affect the water resources agenda. So storing native water in Abiquiu is important and may be able to let us assist the Interstate Stream Commission in making compact deliveries out of there. And like Mark was saying, we have some good news on that lately. We originally had a contract we do have a contract for 170,900 acre feet. We're looking to acquire space to store 30,000 more acre feet. There are current legal issues with storing native water in Abiquiu due to some of the ambiguities with the original authorization that need to be addressed. As Mark was saying, the Water Resources Development Act was approved by the House, and now it's going to go to the conference committee. So hopefully that will give us the ability to store water in Abiquiu and benefit the Water Authority as well as others up and down the Middle Rio Grande Basin. So that is my update on Water 2020, Madam Chair, members of the board, and I will now take any questions. I think you're muted, Madam Chair.
I was just asking if there was any questions from any of the members. Seeing that, I just want to say that, I think the Water Authority, obviously with all the accolades that you get every single year, you just do a phenomenal job. It's pretty impressive and kind of, just mind blowing to think, the kind of work it entails to ensure that we provide quality water and that we also look to the future for our grandchildren and the future generations to come. So thank you for all your hard work. I appreciate it. The last thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I'm not sure, Mr. Sanchez, if Mr. Stomp is actually on the call this evening, but is he? John, are you on? Are you on?
Give me 1 second and I'll get him on. Hold on.
Okay.
A participant has left the meeting.
Give him 1 moment. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thanks everyone for your patience. But we're still under an hour and a half, Commissioner Piscotti. But I hear John is really long-winded, so.
No.
Well, I'm here.
We should always do the reverse jinx.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hi,
Thanks
Councilor Pena. How are you?
Thanks for joining us. We have an announcement that this will be your last meeting with us this evening because you are retiring and you are going on to law school. That's pretty incredible. So congratulations, John. We all wish you the best. You've done an outstanding job for the Water Authority and the people that you serve. So I think you'll do a phenomenal job as a lawyer.
Well, thank you. It's been an honor to serve all of you and the ratepayers, and I appreciate that. And you couldn't have a better place to work. And most importantly, the boss I had was Mark Sanchez. He's the best. So thank you guys for all your support. And we did great things together, and the Water Authority will keep going without me. And thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you. You take care. Good luck. And I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you between now and then. And here's to 2021. So thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yes, exactly.